A small spoiler, I had some mysterious problems at the beginning, but after the first restart it offered automatic firmware update, and after that all those problems suddenly disappeared. But as always, my whole review experience was presented in the video too. Hello, welcome to my Tech Fun, to another 3D printer review video. This is Flashforge AD5X, and this box is sent to me by the Flashforge. In exchange for the review, there is no additional payment, but this video and the whole channel is sponsored by Polymaker and by my Patreon supporters. This is a fast CoreXY printer, and the current price is around 400 euros, which is really budget friendly. Quick setup. Now, I'm not sure why in title they use the words full color 3D printing, because force pulse is still not a full color. Compact design. The multicolor system is on the printer itself, so it requires less space. And what I really like with the previous model too, that it has quick release nozzle. It can be switched in less than a minute. This one is open, but soon enclosure kit will be offered and we can purchase it separately. The build volume, 220 mm in X, Y and Z direction, which was the standard maybe 4 or 5 years ago, like Ender 3 or similar. Nowadays this becomes a little bit smaller, but for the entry-level printer, probably this is enough. 4.3-inch touchscreen. On the nozzle, the maximum temperature is 300 degrees Celsius and on the bed 110. Okay, let's see what's in the box. The packaging is really nice and compact, and the unboxing was easy. It's a small printer and all other parts are placed inside. These are parts for the multicolor system. This was the content inside the printer. Some tools, power cable, spool holder, and these are elements for this multicolor system. And I didn't got the printed user manual and I was searching for the screen, but then I found it. It is already on the printer but switched to inside because of the shipping. Actually, I do have a printed user manual. It was one of the first things I took out from the box. First I thought that this is some external spool holder, but actually this is the glue for the print surface. Ah yes, I forgot to mention sample filaments. It's mi-color, only instead of the black we have a white, but maybe this is a full color only on some 2D printer. In 3D I wouldn't call this full color 3D printing. Actually there is a nice unboxing and assembling video on Flashforge YouTube channel, so I will not repeat this so detailedly. I'm starting with the screen, removing from its temporary holder, and just snap into the place. Installing this holder for the hub, it goes here. Connecting the Teflon tubes, press down. Actually no pressing down and unlocking, and I notice it is hard to remove the Teflon tube if there is some broken filament inside. I think the order is not important here. The other side goes into the extruder. Installing the spool holders and pay attention to the numbers, they must match. Connecting the hub cable, and looks like it is symmetric. Doing some cable management, and the smaller side goes up. And very important, don't forget to remove these transporting screws. There are 3 of them and they're marked with this green arrow. The hardware assembling was finished in 10 minutes. If I would do it second time, I could do it in 5 minutes without camera. And I noticed the frame is magnetic. It uses linear rods on all 3 axes, and these are places for the filters. It can circulate the air, I know this from the previous printer, but of course all this don't make sense with the open printer. Textured PI sheet, 2-sided. And I can see the dimension 235 mm, so if you have older Ender 3 plates, then you can use it here. Before I continue, a small side note. I checked few videos and I was surprised that some of my colleagues were amazed that it can work with TPU filaments too. But if you pay attention detail to the specifications, it says TPU 64D. That's so hard that it's not even measurable on Shore ASK, which is typical for these flexible filaments. It's almost like a TPU for the AMS filament by Bamboo Lab. It is very impact and very resistant, good filament, but it is far from being a flexible, which is good for these multicolor systems. Yes, here we have less bending of this Teflon tube, But even then, I wouldn't place too soft TPU inside. Even if I would have some success with the softer filament 1 or 2 times, it will be still a risky printing. Let's turn it on. Language. Successfully connected to the network. This is the IP address, I will need it later. Now it is doing some calibration and self-check. And auto-leveling is part of this self-calibration. It's a little bit dark inside, it would be good to have some LEDs. And also I'm missing the camera. It's an optional, but it would be good to have it as a default. And of course the vibration test, the input shaping. It was finished in approximately 10 minutes. I will start with these 4 spools: Bamboo, Prusament, Polymaker and E-Sun. And if this will not explode, then nothing will. Inserting of filament is extremely simple. Advantage of these holders that they can accept carbon spools too. Entering the material and the color. Interesting, I just loaded the filaments and it already wants to print a test model without asking me if I want to print it. I know, let's see what will it be. It looks like it will start with filament number 1, which is in this case Bamboo Lab PLA Basic. Ah yes, the poop shoe. So don't forget, on the back side it will drop out this waste material for the cleaning of the nozzle. Currently we use this cardboard box. This cable is a little bit in the way, but there are many printed solutions. But don't forget, be careful because you don't want to block these ventilation holes. In the meantime, it started with the test file. It is quite loud, later I will measure the noise. And according to the screen, it will need for this approximately 12 minutes. When the filaments are on the spool holders, they cover the sticker with the numbers, and I forgot what is the order, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we always have the reminder here on the hub. I can see it is switching the color to number 2, which is actually very similar. This is some kind of light beige color, and this is marble. Now actually I'm starting to like this system because the filament goes into this hub here, and this is the maximal bending it will have. So theoretically it could work with those carbon fiber filaments, but unfortunately most of those technical carbon fiber filaments which I like to use cannot work with the open printer. And another nice feature, which is very similar to the AMS Lite, it has to pull the filament only here, this distance, so the filament change is faster a little bit, but I noticed the purge amount is quite big by default. Test file is finished, just quick bed adhesion until it's hot. Okay, it's good, I will wait until it cools down. I took off the bed for the faster cooling. Oh, okay. Yes, not the best color combination, but it's printed nice. Who can recognize this? Carborundum glass from ND3V2. I think this was the reason why they chose this size, only I don't have a big enough clip to lock this. Let's print another prepared G-code. Calibration cube in colors. Now I can choose the colors. Okay, it will be this pink-black combination. First issue with the printer, it couldn't load the filament number 4, which is this pink color. So I can see the filament is in the extruder, or at least in this part here. I can hear that it is trying pushing it, but it is not appearing on the other side. Unloading of the filament was successful, so it was not broken. It's here now. Now I'm loading the black filament and it is appearing on the other side, so I'm confused. I'm not sure what is the problem here. I'm switching 2 filaments to see is the problem in the filament or in this position. Now let's try to load the black filament, which is in position number 4. I can see it is loading now. So loading the pink, which is now in the position number 3. And this time it is loaded. And now that color calibration cube one more time. And on a previous printer it was very important to enable this leveling. And it is a little bit hard to use the fingers, so I'm using the pen. Exactly this combination I want. The base should be pink and the letters or numbers will be in black. I'm not sure what's going on. I didn't got any error message, but even after 15 minutes nothing happened. It's just cooling down now the bed and the nozzle, and it's stuck here. I canceled the printing and now it is freezed. After switching off and on, it offered me a firmware update. Okay, let's do it. That was easy. I have to restart the printer. It's not finished yet. Firmware updated, and I will use only the slots number 1 and 2. This is Bamboo PLA Basic and Plus Cement, and I want to print that calibration cube. It finally started. There is a purge tower on the back side. Time-lapse video and filament changing time varies between 1 minute and 15 seconds and 2 minutes, depending if it switched to the light or darker color. The printing is at 18% and I'm not really sure what is this. And remaining time 3.5 hours. So this is why I'm waiting for the tool changers. The progress is nice and clean, but it still needs 1.5 hours more. It is finished in 5 hours. It's already removed. And this is the waste material. Let's measure it. Weight of the objects, 14 grams. And the purge material, together with the purge tower, 104 grams. Reminder, if I would print 10 of these at once, I would still have the same amount of the waste material. But I still don't know what was the problem at the beginning. Now I switched the position of the filaments, so from position 1 and 2, but with those two filaments, I printed this. And now I repeat the same printing, but using these two filaments, again, position 1 and 2. And then I will try to print with those two filaments from position 3 and 4. The printing is at 30%, so this means the slots number 1 and 2 works correctly even with these filaments. Or maybe just a firmware update solved the problem. Nice progress, 1 more hour of printing, but it will be finished overnight. Good morning, it's finished. Looks really nice and cute. So the slots number 1 and 2 works fine, and I will try to use the other two. I'm reprinting this coin, but using the holders number 3 and 4. It will be finished soon and everything is okay. Maybe the firmware update solve all these problems. A nice thing that it has completely quiet standby position. It's already removed. Printing is nice. And now I prepare the slicer and slice manual objects because I need more experimenting with these filaments. Orca Flashforge is installed and I'm inserting this object. It is a multicolor object, a rolling element on a D10 dice. I'm switching the filament for the numbers and for those lines. And I will print 4 at once because it's optimal for the waste material. And the printing time will be approximately 3.5 hours. Interesting, it will start with the printing, but didn't ask which filament I want to use, because I wanted to use those two, numbers 3 and 4. Layer shift. The material stuck on the opening and the extruder heated and couldn't move to the edge position. And now I have to stop the printing. And again, that's the case even now. See? I'm reprinting the same object, but now only one at a time. And also I changed the filament because I noticed with the previous one I had some oozing. Maybe that resulted that sticking of purge material to the nozzle. Looks like this time it will be finished correctly. In 2 hours and 20 minutes it's finished. The numbers are clean and white, so the purge material was enough. But it looks like it is very important to use a good and dry filament without any oozing during the printing. I really like the idea of this small compact multicolor printer. As it is now open, it is mostly for PLA PETG, but the enclosure will be an option soon. The build volume is not big, but it has the same print volume like NS3, and this is not a bed slinger. This means the footprint is smaller on the desk. On the software side, I can see some space for improvements. On the hardware side, there are a few things which I don't like. For example, the screen. It is not smooth touchscreen like on the smartphones. It is resistive. This means we have to press it a little bit. It is one of the best in that group, but it is still not smooth touchscreen, and today's generation really get used to those touchscreens on a smartphone. I don't like that we don't have unlocking rings on this hub. In case we have some broken filament inside, it's a little bit hard to take it out. I think the nozzle cleaner and the purge opening needs a little bit better design. Several times I noticed that the material stuck there. Sometimes I notice on time and sometimes not, and then I got that layer shift. So this was my experience with the Flashforge AD5X. If you have some other experience, fill us down in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video until the end, and happy printing!